Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another crypto video. And something just went down, which has left my Twitter inbox red with messages just all over. Now, what just happened is completely normal, completely usual, and I'm talking about 1 billion XRP being transferred. Yes, 1 billion XRP being transferred. You know why, guys? Because it happens every single month. But I think the reason people keep spamming me over it and people keep making a big fuzz or big panic over it is because they just don't understand exactly why it happens or what is going on. So let me explain it here to you. All right, I definitely have a couple extra XRP videos coming out today. There's just so much news today, it is insane. But let's start off with the usual and the stuff that I can't explain to you. So, a very long time ago, for all of you that do not know, there was 100 billion XRP tokens in circulation. Or to be completely fair, I'm going to say about 99 point something because a little bit of XRP was already burned. This little small part. Now, in 2017, basically, some guys were like, you know what? I don't like Ripple having too much control over all of it. We don't really enjoy the idea. And that's actually written down here by David Schwartz, I believe, too. To provide additional predictability to the XRP supply, Ripple decided to lock up 55 billion XRP, or about 55% of the total supply, into a series of escrows. These escrows are on the ledger itself, and the ledger mechanics enforced by consensus control the release of XRP. Now, if you've been an avid viewer of my channel, by now you know that I've made an update and a video explaining exactly how the escrow feature works, exactly how you could do it yourself if you want to, and that's all because everything is explained properly on the xrpl.org. I've told you guys before, I am always hungry for more knowledge, and I've read, I think, every page, at least in this documentation here, which is quite a lot, but then again, it's also not that much if you consider. It's just worth it, all right? I talk about XP every single day. I love tech. I love specifically fintech, like you guys maybe saw over on my Twitter. And so it really isn't too crazy that I decided to put a little bit of effort into it. Then again, there's so many different options, so many small corners and whatnot with this escrow, but the premise or idea is you can basically put up a feature that promises to send XRP somewhere after being stored. So if you, as person A, want to send something to person B, but you only want to send it after a year, for example, it basically goes into escrow for a little while, and after 1 year, it automatically gets sent to person B. Then again, there's multiple different restrictions which you can put on that. For example, let's not go into examples. There's just so ridiculously many things. You can, for example, also put up an escrow to yourself. There's a ton of different restrictions, ton of different, I'm not sure exactly what the word for it is. Not consequence, but the other side of that. Basically, this needs to happen before that happens. A lot of those things, conditions, there we go. And it's really crazy. But let's move on with the story, though. The escrow consists of independent on-ledger escrows, and those specifically, the independent on-ledger escrows can actually be seen whenever you see Will Alert post. Because right here you can see there's actually been multiple different transfers of XRP, right? You can see 100 million, 400 million, and 500 million. The other 100 million here is actually something else. This is just Ripple sending it away. This is 100 plus 400 plus 500 is the total amount of XRP that Ripple got from escrow to their wallet. Then after they sent 1 billion XRP to their wallets, they sent 100 million XRP to the Cell wallet. I think RL18VN maybe. Let's quickly check out exactly which wallet this is. They sent it to. We can check it out on BitThumb. Sometimes you can see a name. Yeah, RL18VN. God, I'm a freaking nerd, man. Holy smokes. How did I need to do something with my life. Why did I know the name of the wallet? Guys, am I... I'm in trouble. Why do I spend so much time researching this stuff? I knew the wallet that they sent it to. Holy smokes. All right. Now, they basically got 1 billion in. sent 100 million to their wallet, which they use to provide liquidity, but also sell, also give to their partners, all that type of stuff. And then afterwards, you can see the lockup emojis. They locked up 500 billion in one escrow contract. So once more, guys, this, if you go look it up on the XP Ledger, you'll see it's an escrow contract. And how that basically works, you can see you can only see one address is because an escrow in this specific part as a lockup works, that they basically escrow it to themselves. So if you once more look at the idea here, it's actually from person A to person A, and it just basically increases the reserve requirement so that you cannot send any XP out. And after a certain specific while, in this regard, I think it's 5 years, it's locked out again, or you can basically get your money again. Now, the reason it is 500, then 100, and then 300, you might be wondering about, right? Well, they just got 1 billion out of it, took 100 million for themselves, and there's 900 million left. The reason they put it up in such strange orders is actually to do with the way that escrows are stored and that they were set in place up front, at first. If you go to the, let's quickly see where I have it open, XP Arcade, which is Leonidas' website, you'll notice at the start, it was all just kind of obvious. There's 1 billion released, and a part gets put back in, a part doesn't. Majority of the times, it's about 900 million, but some cases, a different amount. Now, the problem is, if you want to make sure that you have 1 billion XRP every single month, and you always want to do it in smaller sort of escrows, well, you have a little bit of a problem, because if you put in 900 million back, how exactly are you going to make it sure that there's a 1 billion XP transaction the next time? Well, what they basically did and decided to do was make it so that every time an escrow ends, they basically put it into the next address piece by piece by piece. And now it's not completely true, because from some perspective, some addresses, for example, have different amounts of XRP in there for right now. And what that actually showcases, if you go all the way down here, you can see every time something opened up, right? They have 500 billion, 500 billion, no, 500 million, sorry guys, 500 million, 500 million, 500 million, every single time, every single month that happens. However, here it starts to change. That's because they went and changed their, it's actually a little bit before that already. I think they changed their priority from doing it 1 billion a time to about 500 million, but then twice every single month, basically. So here you can see twice every single month, 500 million. Now, a little bit later, actually, they also decided, you know what? Because we're locking XRP up every time, we basically just fund this specific one until it's 500 million. And then the rest, it basically gets split up from the transfers that we get. So every single month, you'll see here, right now for the 7th, so basically July 2025, there's 500 and there's 500. So that one is good. However, for the 6th, for example, there's 100, 400, or 500 and 400. In total, still 1 billion. That's going to happen every month. In this case here, for this month, basically, they locked up 400 million in this address and 500 in the previous one. However, again, if next month comes around, another part gets sent to the back of the line here for the August of 2025. First, they're going to fund it with 100 million to make sure that this one is set to 500 perfectly. This could be a solo 100 million transaction. And then another one gets filled with 500 million, depending on if they can. Otherwise, it's going to be, for example, 100 and then another 300 and then maybe a 200. It just depends on how these things all come together. Then again, one thing you might also be wondering about is how did the sales of XP work and all that. Guys, it really depends, because the sales are quite transparent. Ripple in every quarterly report puts up exactly how much XP they sold and what purpose for. Then again, it's not as transparent as you might want. But then again, to kind of counter that one again, it's counter to a counter. It's more transparent than almost any other crypto company has ever had before. Because usually crypto companies, and they kind of hide it away as much as possible because, well, they don't want to show you exactly what they're spending it on. And a lot of these guys have a really big reserve, basically, like Ripple does here, but they don't really make it too apparent or too known. Ripple has everything open to the public, which of course has stabbed them in the back a couple of times, but really does us nicely because I like to see it that way, right? I like to see every single escrow like this. I like to see the address. I like to see everything that's happening because then you can kind of track it. Even though it's superficial because they can still do anything they want with that. For example, here you can see they're sending XRP 3.5 million to Huobi every single day. We don't know if they're selling the XP over there or providing liquidity. At first, I would thought, no, liquidity. But now that they're selling such amounts every single day, it feels to me as if they're selling their XP on Huobi and not doing it on a local exchange in the US because in Huobi, they have the best jurisdiction, basically. I believe Huobi is China-based, so it could be that they're doing it over in China to make sure that the rules are nice because, well, maybe the US and China aren't that on the right foot in that regard. Then again, you also know they basically do it in such a way where they leave almost nothing at the end of the month. So the next month when their balance is again replenished, they can go back to their selling pattern or sending pattern at least. You might call this good, you might call this bad. It's really hard to say. But every single month it works in the exact same type of fashion. And yeah, I really can't make too many words foul on it. I don't really know why they're doing that. And it's really, really going to be difficult for you or anybody for that matter, to find out exactly what they're spending it on. Unless you're going to question Huobi for that matter. Now in terms of other transfers, I'm going to guess and say that this transfer right here is Jim McCallum's settlement to Jim McCallum. Yeah, there we go. This is a usual transfer which happens very often. It's just to fund Jim McCallum's wallet, but I will make another separate video on that later today to explain exactly why he gets sent this and what he's doing with that, because some people might most likely be wondering. But this is it for the escrow, the 1 billion XRP, the big transfer, because maybe you were scared. Well, now you know. It's nothing to really worry about. It's nothing really too crazy. So I would say don't worry too much about it.